Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm actually really excited today because if you can't tell, we're going to be baking. I've been in such a fall mood and I've already made pumpkin cookies and pumpkin muffins like 2 or 3 times. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make chai cookies, except for these are also going to be pumpkin because I didn't have enough butter, so I'm going to be substituting that last 1/4 cup of butter for pumpkin puree. So we're gonna make pumpkin chai cookies and I'm so excited, but we're not only gonna be baking, I'm also gonna be reading off Bookish unpopular opinions / hot takes while we bake pumpkin chai cookies. If you're curious, I will link the recipe that I'm using down below, unless it's not good, in which case I won't, because I'm not trying to shade anybody, and if it's not good, it's probably my fault, not theirs. Okay, so the first hot take is special editions aren't special anymore. It's like every new release now will have a special edition, and it's turned into a huge money grab. I actually agree with this so bad. And especially with Barnes & Nobles, y'all. They have a Barnes & Noble special editions for every single book release, and I'm like, and it's more expensive. And sometimes they only have the special release. They don't even have the regular one. And I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for that book. I'm sorry, but I'm just not. I will be reading that from the library. And it does feel like a huge money grab. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say next by saying that I absolutely love Taylor Swift. If you know me, you know this about me. However, it's the same energy as Taylor Swift coming out with 4 different color albums for every single release. And then also having a Target special edition. I'm like, we don't need 5 different colored vinyls for every single album. Sue me, sue me. I don't know, yeah. So going back to that point, I really do agree. I just feel like calling everything special, or like if everything's special, then nothing is special. You know what I mean? Oh, this one made me laugh. This one said sports romances do not have enough sports. And honestly, I don't really know if I agree or disagree with this. I think maybe it depends on which one you're reading. I will say though that it is kind of like in the beginning of it, it's so focused on sports, and then I feel like as we get more into the romance, it's just like, oh my god, we play sports, and it's like, what happened to practice? What happened to this? What happened to that? Like, you are either a college athlete or a professional athlete, and I know that your schedule is really busy. So that one I just thought was kind of funny, and I have not seen that take before, but you made me laugh. This one is kind of on the same realm as the other one. It says, the only time I enjoy romance books is whenever there's something else going on, a sport, running a restaurant, etc., like Hallmark movies. I hate that so many books have an interesting premise, but then abandons it as soon as the characters meet. That is such a good point. And I can't think of any examples right now. I wish that I could. But it is true. I do get bored whenever it's just romance, because I'm like, okay, y'all really don't have anything else going on in your lives, or whenever they don't have like friends or anything. Wait, is there no sugar? No, sugar's a wet ingredient. I always forget that. Okay. Yeah, like y'all don't have any friends that you're hanging out with, like not even like little wine night, dinner with friends, walk around the city, or you don't have a job. Like some of the characters in these romance books really do nothing except for think about the other person. And I don't know, maybe the logic is that it's not relevant to the story because it's like a romance story, so maybe they're just thinking like, oh, we'll just focus on romance. But I'm nosy, and I want to know what y'all are doing outside of this. Like, I know you have to have a hobby. I don't know. It's just, it gives one-dimensional, and it gives boring, and I agree. I'm going to pause this for a second while I use the mixer because obviously that's loud and obnoxious and nobody wants to hear that. Okay, we're back. Okay, the next opinion is I hate deckled edges. I think it just makes it more annoying to turn the pages. And honestly, I also don't like deckled edges, but not for that reason. I don't like deckled edges because it doesn't match up with the other books on my shelves. Like, I feel like I would need a whole shelf with just deckled edged books so that they look right together. I don't like whenever they don't match. I like that I can take all my books and line them up together and they all look, you know, nice. I don't know. That's really good. We need freaking egg whites for this, so I'm gonna be saving these yolks and using them for something else because y'all know that eggs are too expensive to just be throwing away the yolks. But I guess I just put the whole entire white in there. Oh no. Why can't I have any egg yolk? I don't like that. You know what, y'all? And it is because I did that. Y'all, I'm really messing this recipe up. I'm gonna do one with the yolk. Y'all. So I refuse to buy any books with the stickers just out of spite. If they want my money, they have to stop printing them. And honestly, I agree with the sentiment, but I do still buy them. If there's a copy that doesn't have it, I won't buy it. Like, obviously, I'll go and buy the one that doesn't have the sticker. But if I really want a book on my shelf, I'm not going to not buy it just because there's a sticker on it, even though it is very, very extremely annoying. And I do wish that they would stop doing that, because if it's going to be a sticker, just make it a sticker. I saw the sticker. I see that it's a Netflix show. Maybe I'll go and watch it. But, like, let me take the sticker off. I got the memo. It's up here. Don't worry. I got the memo. Now, let me take the sticker off. I really don't understand what is so difficult about that. Really, like, what book lover, what book publisher, cover maker, whatever, who loves books that is working in the publishing industry that is like, yes, this is a great idea. I really don't understand the purpose of it. And that is so, it's just dumb. I'm like, why are y'all doing dumb things? I don't know if this is the right texture. I was just about to say that I want more cinnamon, but all the cinnamon is in here. So that's really good, actually. Okay, this one says, I love reading annotated books. It feels like a buddy read. And I agree. I also love reading annotated books. Well, let me preface this. I've never read somebody else's annotated book, but I can imagine that I would really love it. And I have annotated books for my friend before for her birthday. For the past 2 birthdays, I've annotated a book for her to read, because I just think that it's such like a fun and like just lovely idea to be like, oh my gosh, it's like we're reading this together. I do understand though why some people don't like this, why people don't want people to read their annotated books, because especially if you're someone who annotates very seriously, or if you like go back and annotate books with a character that you felt you really connected to and it's more like a vulnerable thing, I can understand why you wouldn't want somebody to read that, just because if you're saying, I relate to this character, and then you're inside that character's mind, it might feel like somebody's literally like reading all your innermost thoughts. So that is so completely valid. This is a really loose batter. This does not look like cookie dough. It looks like I'm making bread or something. I'm gonna put these in the fridge to cool and to set a little bit, because hopefully that'll help. Okay, the next one is that spice is unnecessary. Every book that I've ever read with spice in it would be just as good with a fade to black. It never adds anything to the quality of the book. I've been saying this, and I feel like whenever I say this, people think that I'm lying, or maybe that's just me projecting, because I feel like I always think that people think that I'm lying, but I don't know why. I know why I think that people think that I'm lying, and it's because my fiance thinks that I'm lying, because I made him read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and he was low-key making fun of me because of the spicy scenes, and I'm like, bro, it's not me. Like, I did not write the book, and honestly, most of the time I skip them. And he was like, oh my gosh, you skip chapters? Like, are you even allowed to do that? I'm like, I'm not reading it. I can do whatever I want. Can you skip important chapters? No, but can I skip, that? I think that I can, because genuinely, I agree. What is that adding to the context of the story? What am I missing out on the plot? Nothing. And I heard somebody else say that it just gets really repetitive, and with that I agree as well, because there's a formula to spicy scenes. It's boring, I'm not entertained, I'm like just trying to pass the time, read a cute little book, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of somebody's bedroom seeing things that I don't need to be seeing. So I do skip them most of the time, and I highly agree with that. I would much rather a fade to black. The only kind of like spice that I like, and it's not even spice, I really would not classify this as spice. This is like a bell pepper compared to like a habanero pepper. But I do like whenever the characters haven't gotten together yet and you can feel all the tension and then they kiss for the first time. That I do enjoy, and I will read about that in detail, because it's like the butterflies, fireworks, like sparks all over moment, and I really do enjoy that. Especially if it is a slow burn, because girl, you know that we've been waiting for this payoff all book and it's finally here. So that part I do enjoy, and I do feel like that, like depending on what side of the internet you're on, that is a hot take, because there are people who love spicy books. You know that thing where someone will be like, oh yeah, and then I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and someone's like, but is it spicy? And you're like, No, girl, it's not supposed to be spicy. It's not even a romance, so it's not the point. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Hey, that's the whole point. These are all my opinions. Anyways, my hot take is that I think hardcovers are more aesthetically pleasing, but I hate reading from them. I prefer reading from a paperback. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the tea. Romance, general fiction, classics, whatever, all of those are paperback. Fantasy, I like a hardcover, but that being said, most of the fantasy that I listen to, I just gave it away. Most of the fantasy that I read, I listen to on an audiobook, partly because of all of the made up names. I will literally forget where I am if I don't know how to pronounce something. If there's 2 S names in a book and I don't know how to pronounce them and I'm just putting in like S, I don't know who's who anymore. I really don't. And I'm sorry, like that's my red flag. But so I do listen to my fantasy books for the most part. Therefore, I do like them in hardcover because I don't actually have to read the hardcover. However, that only really applies to like fantasy in terms of like Throne of Glass or Fourth Wing. I know people don't consider that like fantasy, but you know what I mean. Because if it's something very like cozy fantasy, like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, or what am I reading right now? Oh, I'm reading Legends and Lattes right now. Like, I would not want that in a hardcover. It does not fit the aesthetic. So I think that there is a time and a place for hardcover and a time and a place for paperback, but I do agree that reading from paperback is just much more comfortable. Oh, some people are going to agree with this one. See, this one, they say my lukewarm take, but honestly, I feel like out of all these, this might be a hot take. And it's that I get annoyed when people whine about the same 5 books not being shown on Booktok. Babe, it's a For You page. I see a lot of different books from new genres on Booktok all the time. If your For You page is all Fourth Wing, that is unfortunately your fault. That is really real, unfortunately. I do agree with that one. And I do think that some people are going to get mad at that because they're going to be like, well, obviously if you're new to Booktok, or obviously if you're just looking at what's popular, and it's like, well, yeah, duh. If you're just new to Booktok or new to this, they're just going to show you whatever is the most popular because you're new to it. They don't know what you like yet. But if you do engage with diverse books or with different kinds of books, diverse authors, etc., like, you're going to see more of that. Like, it's an algorithm. It shows you what you look at. It's like whenever those congressmen got on TikTok and they were like, it's all underage girls dancing. And it's like, oh, that's actually really embarrassing because you just told on yourself. That being said, I do see a lot of the same popular books on TikTok. Because sometimes I just like to look up like cozy fall reading or like cozy reading vlog or, you know, like summer reads. And if you look up like stuff like that, like very targeted searches, you're going to get the most popular videos from that search. So I will say that sometimes I do see the most popular books, but whenever I'm scrolling, I do feel like I have a few people that I follow that are really good about giving diverse reads. And if I remember, I will link them here. I'll like put them up on the screen so that, you know, maybe if you are having this problem, maybe you need to follow some more people and get some more genres in your life. This one, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I'm going to call you out. And it's at Amazon. It's my last resort, like only if I can't find the book from anywhere else. Y'all, some of you, Amazon is your first resort and you get all of your books off of Amazon because it's cheaper. And I'm going to call you out right now because, one, that is really unsustainable and really not bookish of you. That's very corporate of you. Because how are you going to take all of the joy out of buying a book? Half the fun of buying a book is going to the store and buying it. Especially for me because I don't buy that many books, especially not new. I get a lot of my books at the thrift store. So whenever I'm like, no, it's my birthday or it's Christmas or whatever, I want to treat myself and I actually go and buy a book, oh my gosh, it is so exciting because half the time whenever I go to Barnes & Noble, I don't buy anything. I just walk around and look at them. I call it visiting the books. Half the time I'm just visiting the books. So whenever I actually get to buy them, it is so exciting. So how are you going to take all of the fun out of buying a book? Hello? Like, not even just Barnes & Noble, but like small mom and pop like bookshops and stuff. This is why they're going out of business. It's because of Amazon. And I know that it's cheaper. I know that it's cheaper. But genuinely, if you can afford all the books that you're buying, maybe you need to buy less books. Oh, who said that? Who said that? Oh my gosh, maybe if you can't afford to buy them at full price, you don't need to buy them. Oh my god. Y'all, I think there's a ghost in here. I don't know who said that. That was really rude. But seriously, maybe you don't need every single book that comes out immediately. maybe we can be a little bit more selective about what we're buying, and then we can go and support real bookstores. Listen, while I get you from a monetary standpoint, imagine how sad the world would be if it was full of readers and no bookstores. And all we can do is go shop online. That is so boring and sad. Don't be boring and sad. This is questionable. It does taste good, but it's questionable. This one also made me laugh. It said, never judge a book by its cover. Applies to everything except for books. And I think that is kind of, y'all, this first batch is going to be so experimental. I might just make a couple for the first batch just to see. I don't know what I did wrong other than substituting everything. I don't know what I did wrong other than not following the recipe. I just remembered that the reason that I was making chai cookies was so that my fiance could eat them, but he doesn't like pumpkin, and I just added pumpkin. And all of my last recipes, not all of them, like 3 of my last recipes have been with pumpkin, and he couldn't eat them because he doesn't like it. Do you think if I don't tell him that there's pumpkin in it, that he'll notice? Maybe I'll test him. Let's see if he really doesn't like pumpkin, or if he's been fibbing. That looks so questionable. I just want to test them, okay? I just want to test them. Oh, I'll never understand why people take such personal offense to the way others treat their books, or treat their own books. Honestly, that's real, because what you do with your books is none of my business. It'd be like if I came into your house and judged you for the color that you painted the walls, which, to be fair, I have done. So that was maybe not a good point. But you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to go online and make a whole video about the color that you painted your walls, because that is just unnecessary and it's really none of my business at the end of the day. So I'm like, whether you dog ear a book, or you highlight it, or you don't highlight it, or you crack the spine, or you don't crack the spine, genuinely, it's not my business. Hey, that's not my shelf. Hey, that's not my book. So I agree with this one, and I feel like that is kind of a hot take because people love to come for people on the internet. Period. That's the end of the sentence. People love to come for people on the internet. When people say that they love tropes, especially like enemies to lovers, like, thanks, now I know her rival will be her lover, like, I want to be surprised who ends up together even if it doesn't last. So basically, whenever people are recommending a book and they're like, oh my gosh, you have to read this book, it's enemies to lovers. And I'm like, thank you for spoiling that. Actually, thank you. That was really good because, hey, I did want to skip to the end of the book and see who she ended up with. Thank you. Thank you. That was really good. Especially whenever they're setting up a counter romance, and they actually did a good job of setting it up, and if I didn't know that fact, it would be believable. But now you told me that, so it does kind of ruin the whole book. I do agree with that. I don't know. I think that classifying books by their tropes in general online can be kind of frustrating for multiple reasons. One, because of spoilers, where you're like, friends to lovers, you know, enemies to lovers, where it's very spoilery. Or, on the other hand, if you say enemies to lovers and it's just mild, like, dislike, well, now I'm mad at the book. Maybe it's a great book. Maybe I would have loved this book, but now I'm mad at the book because you set me up to want an enemies to lovers, and really they just didn't like each other for 2 paragraphs. And now I'm annoyed and I'm mad at the book, and it isn't even the book's fault because they never told me that. You know what I mean? Whenever you're just saying like, oh my gosh, you have to read this book, enemies to lovers, single dad, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, now I don't even want to read the book because I feel like I already know what it's about. I read the blurb, you told me every single trope that's in the book, and now I don't want it anymore. I don't know. Is that a hot take? I'm not sure. Some people are going to be mad at that one. I'm going to make this my last one, and honestly, this isn't a good one. It says, important conversations belong in any community. Books are political, period. Why would people think politics wouldn't be talked about here? That's weird. Thank you. I agree. I agree. I'm not even talking politics like American politics or world politics, which, yes, we should be talking about those things. Hello, look at the world around us. It's literally burning down. But I digress. Just even like politics in the sense of like gender expression or sexuality. It is weird whenever people are like, it's not that deep. And I'm like, it's literally a book. Like, do you know where books started? Because it quite literally is that deep. Unless you're either A, reading fluffy books because you don't want to think, or you're not engaging critically with the books that you are reading, in which I would say that that is also problematic, because while reading is a relaxing and fun hobby, and I do love a fluffy book here and there, especially after I've read something really dark, I do enjoy that to bring my moods up. But if that's all that you're reading, I do think that that can be slightly problematic because you're not really expanding your worldview. And books are very helpful for helping us understand empathy and understanding other people's points of views. And books are just very important in this sense, and I think that whenever we stop engaging critically with the content that we are consuming, then you're kind of just subjecting yourself to whatever opinions that other people want you to think instead of forming your own opinions. So that's that on that. Hey, that's what I had to say. That's me. I don't know how we went from deckled edges to political opinions. Actually, yes I do. I literally screenshotted these. But however, not enough on kind of a sober note. Oh. My cookies are done. Anyways, yeah, not to end off that way, but yes, books are political and you're weird if you think otherwise. And that's that. And honestly, you can debate me in the comments, except for the fact that I'm not really open to debate on that one. You can tell me your opinion, but hey, all these other things, you agree with me, you disagree with me, I don't care. That one, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, first of all, they're huge. Let me see. Oh my gosh, they're so spongy. Maybe I should just make muffins with this batter. This is giving muffin. So we made pumpkin chai muffins. Thanks so much. Should make a cream cheese icing. That would be so good. I don't know if you can tell, but it's literally like bread. Ooh, can you see that steam? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is in fact not really a cookie, but it does look really good. So I actually accidentally just made the most delicious pumpkin chai muffin. I've been making a lot of muffins lately, but I'm not mad about it. It's a happy accident. I'm not even mad that I don't have cookies. Okay, so that is officially our baking done and all of those hot takes reacted to. I hope that you enjoyed this. Like I said, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'm always open to debate. I was just kidding about that last one. I will hear what you have to say. I will hear what you have to say. Only because I appreciate you so much. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow, comment, etc., etc. All those things that you know how to do. This is the internet. You're not new here. And yeah, I will see you all next week. Bye.